Good morning. I'm Jen Dalby, the CEO of the Congressional Management Foundation. I'd like to officially welcome you to the Democracy Awards. The Democracy Awards are in their 9th year, and this is the signature event of our foundation. It's our biggest awards ceremony to date, and I'm proud that we filled the largest room in the Capitol complex. With so many supporters here, we appreciate you, and you're all aligned with our mission to strengthen Congress. This year, we received our highest number of applicants, 150 submissions from 80 offices. Receiving a Democracy Award is an honor because our members represent the absolute best of Capitol Hill. Important and unrecognized work is occurring here today. I'd like to take a moment to thank the CMF team. You are a small but mighty team with a growth mindset and to improve every day and find ways to continue to serve our ever-changing institution. You are powerful keepers of our mission and our commitment to bipartisanship. And these types of events don't happen without you. Thanks to our many institutional partners here in the House that make this event possible and our CMF-affiliated partners as well. We appreciate you. If our board of directors could please stand. I'd like to take a moment to thank this amazing group of volunteers who have lent their time, energy, and resources to support a rapid growth for this program and our foundation. We are doing big things at CMF. And 7 months into the year, we've already held 38 programs, a management symposium, and a chief of staff retreat, all in support of this Capitol Hill community. We're also joined by many of our House and Senate officers. Kevin McCumber, the Clerk of the House, Jennifer Hemingway, the Senate Sergeant of Arms, and Ann Benstead, the Acting Chief Administrative Officer. Thank you to you and your teams for your service. And last but not least, the sponsors who make CMF and the Democracy Awards possible. We appreciate your support and commitment. You are playing the long game with us. The Democracy Awards feels even more relevant as someone to debate the value and the role of Congress. Let me be clear. The first branch of the Constitution is not something we change, ignore, or manipulate. It is the branch closest to the American people, and it should be strengthened and studied, supported, and valued. And for those who cannot comprehend the important work of Congress, well, you've never been to a Democracy Award. Because today we pause and recognize the greatness of the members here and their staff performing the essential work of their office in service to this great nation. We recognize that public service is a noble profession. We recognize the offices that live in the bigness of this job and the demands of elected officials in a democratic institution. And we recognize the core, non-negotiable functions of this office: constituent service, management, innovation, being ambassadors to our constituents when they come to Washington, working with those across the aisle, and thoughtfully hiring the best of this country to serve our offices. That is worth celebrating. So how about we get this awards program started? I'd like to recognize our first presenter, Dr. Wyatt Decker from United Health Group, who will be presenting Best of Senate Constituent Service.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here with all of you this morning. It's a real pleasure and, of course, a true honor. I'm Wyatt Decker. I'm an ER doc, and I'm chief physician at United Health Group. I'm pleased this morning to have the opportunity to present the CMF Democracy Awards for Best U.S. Senate Constituent Service. The awardees this morning are two, Senator Ashley Moody and Senator Adam Schiff. At United Health Group, our mission is to help people live healthier lives and help make the healthcare system work better for everyone. That mission shapes how we think about service, helping people navigate complexity, removing friction, solving problems with urgency, and giving people confidence that someone is listening and ready to help. That is why that award is so meaningful to us. This award recognizes exceptional casework and constituent support, including responsive systems, persistence, empathy, and strong, pragmatic problem solving. As an emergency physician, I've taught hundreds of medical students and residents how to technically be excellent doctors. But my advice to them always fell on the personal side. Remember, in emergency medicine, to you, your work sometimes feels like another day in the office. But to every patient that you interact with, they're going to remember that interaction for the rest of their lives. Think about any time you've been with a loved one or yourself into an emergency room. I can pretty much assure you, you remember a lot of that, a lot of those details. Well, it's similar with constituent services. While our senators and their staff are working on big, bold initiatives that are going to help shape the future of our country, and we're incredibly grateful for that service, we also recognize that that individual touch, addressing constituent concerns, is kind of where the rubber meets the road, and it's where you show up. So to me, this award is particularly poignant. At United Health Group, we are proud to work with congressional offices on casework requests to help resolve issues for people that we both represent. We know how important it is to be responsive and accountable, compassionate, especially when people are in distress, which is so often the case with these kinds of matters. Whether in healthcare or public service, the goal is the same. Meet people where they are, help them move from frustration. I'm going to start with Senator Moody. Senator Moody was selected as a winner for her disciplined, metrics-driven approach to state operations and her team's unwavering commitment to operationalizing responsiveness. In a single year, her team instituted a constituent services policy and procedure guide requiring that every case be entered, assigned, acknowledged, and within 7 business days would be responded to with mandatory 30-day follow-ups until completely resolved. They built a powerhouse casework team with more than 125 combined years of specialized expertise. The office also manages complex casework for active duty military personnel regardless of home state, as well as U.S. citizens abroad seeking emergency repatriation through a secure, mobile-friendly digital portal. Senator Moody has demonstrated deep dedication to local community service by hosting more than 120 mobile office hours to reach remote counties in Florida, conducting senior fraud prevention workshops, managing statewide service academy nomination board across 6 locations, and executing the Florida's Finest program to honor local everyday heroes and first responders. Please join me in congratulating Senator Ashley Moody.
I am so excited about this award. I told someone it might be my most favorite award we have ever received. And I won a chicken wing eating contest one time, so it's about comparable with that. Thank you so much. My office just told me you have exactly 3 minutes because you have to go vote. So I am so excited. Zach Zampello, who is our Director of Constituent Services, is with me today. He came all the way up from Florida. This is really his award. Thank you to the Congressional Management Foundation. I think an organization like this that rewards work of the offices that shows we are working indeed every day for the people, I cannot think of a better way to incentivize those of us that were sent here by our constituents to get going and get started and show initiative. And I'm so honored that we were able to receive this award after only 1 year here as a United States Senator. That means the world to us. Throughout my career, I've been in public service in many roles: federal prosecutor, judge, attorney general, now senator. I have always been mindful that if you keep in mind that you're there to work for the people, everything else kind of works out. And it helps you become more effective in other issues because they trust that your heart and your intentions and your motivations are in the right place, and that is to serve the folks that are your bosses. And I don't say that lightly. Back at home, I refer to Floridians as my bosses, and my constituent services team takes that to heart and runs with that and really, truly feels like that when people call in. And I think these days, right now, people need to trust government. And the way we do that is we show them we haven't forgotten that we are a government by the people, but specifically for the people. And so this award for my team is incredibly meaningful because that has been the motif, what drives us in everything we do. I place a lot of emphasis not only in personnel and resources, but in myself reviewing data and making sure we're meeting the metrics. The Sergeant-at-Arms of the Senate is my sorority sister from the University of Florida, and she remembers I was an accounting major at UF, go Gators. She's like, it doesn't surprise me that you are driven by metrics now. But it is one way that you can be productive and show performance, and that indeed your focus is on the people. So thank you so much to this organization. It means a lot to me. There's nothing more meaningful that your work improves lives, can help people's lives. And we try to remember that while it might seem a routine matter because we've seen it time and time again, it could be the most important to that person most important thing to that person on that specific day. And we are very mindful of that. So thank you very much for recognizing we are trying to make it a stronger Florida, one constituent at a time. Thank you so much.
Our second award winner is Senator Adam Schiff. Senator Schiff is being recognized for his relentless commitment to delivering assistance to a constituency of nearly 40 million Californians. A powerful example of the Senator's focus on service was evidenced in his response to the California wildfires. Faced with the severe communication challenges, Senator Schiff and his team deployed a multi-office phone tree system to route the constituent service requests. Senator Schiff's casework team then tracked the aftermath of the wildfires and identified systemic insurance obstacles facing local survivors. He turned that real-time feedback into immediate action, leading a congressional coalition that worked with 9 of the largest property insurance companies to help deliver needed relief to Californians. Senator Schiff and his team have expanded the boundary of traditional staff responsibilities by training all of their staff interns and staff assistants on casework intake protocols, and by utilizing a Stars of Valor Fellow to conduct targeted veteran casework outreach. His office conducts hourly audits to identify misrouted service and specialized casework, helping the team to quickly act on urgent needs. Please join me in congratulating Senator Adam Schiff. Senator, congratulations.
Wyatt, thank you very much for those kind words, and thank you for taking good care of our constituents. Having many years ago taken one of my kids to the emergency room, I can well recognize the truth in what you say. Those are indelible experiences for all of us. I also want to thank the Congressional Management Foundation, not just for this acknowledgement for the extraordinary work you do. I still remember as a brand new freshman in the House receiving the book setting course, and it was of just immense value, and all the training that I received and my office received and has throughout the years. You are just a tremendous resource to all of us, so thank you. When I was sworn into the Senate, I made a commitment to California that I would do everything possible to get things done for the state, and I'd like to think this award is a recognition that our team assembled across the state is truly getting stuff done. Many of them are here today. Teresa, Emma, and Chloe from my Burbank office, Israel from San Francisco, Yasmin from San Diego, Jahari, who started with our Fresno office and is now in our office here in DC, and was also, and also Diego from Washington, DC. So my thanks to all my crack staff that do all this incredibly important work. Without their enormous contributions, we wouldn't be here today, but there are a couple additional staff I want to recognize, Mary and Margarita, who were not able to make the trip. A special recognition to Ann, my state director, and Chow, my constituent services director. This team was literally, as Wyatt said, forged in fire. The first challenge they faced was assisting thousands of constituents who had lost everything in the Eaton and Palisades wildfires. And now they're delivering outstanding constituent services to 40 million Californians, literally 1 out of every 8 or 10 Americans. We're delivering those services in 8 different languages. We brought back, in our first year, more than $10 million in taxpayer dollars to the state as a result of more than 5,400 cases that they opened on behalf of our constituents. I'm enormously proud of the work that my staff does, and to all the members who are here and their staff, I think we all recognize what incredibly dedicated public servants we have the privilege to work with. So thank you for this distinction, which I accept on behalf of my staff. Thanks, everyone.
Good morning. Wow, we could do a little better than that, right? Good morning. I'm Emily M. Dickens. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer at SHRM, and it is my privilege to present the Democracy Awards for Excellence in Congressional Management. SHRM is the 4th largest membership-based organization in the world, representing 340,000 HR and business leaders through a network of 550 affiliates spanning every U.S. state and congressional district. With 95% of Fortune 500 represented within our membership, we're given unparalleled perspective on workforce challenges and opportunities facing organizations of every size, industry, and sector. And as the leading workforce and economic stakeholder, SHRM represents the employers and HR leaders who create jobs, invest in talent, drive innovation, and strengthen America's economy. SHRM works across the political spectrum to advance practical workforce policies that expand economic opportunity, enhance business competitiveness, and build a stronger economy. I am honored this morning to present the Democracy Award for Excellence in Congressional Management to Representative Ashley Hinson and Representative Greg Stanton. This award recognizes offices that demonstrate strong leadership, professional development, communication, planning, and a high-performing workplace culture. Representative Ashley Hinson has built a deliberate, top-tier management structure grounded in the simple philosophy, take care of your people first. That commitment is modeled by the Congresswoman and reinforced at every level of her team. Her office operates with a bottom-up performance approach, including weekly one-on-one check-ins across all 4 office locations to surface challenges early, strengthen accountability, and establish trust. Department-specific weekly reports are shared with the full team during Monday morning calls, ensuring every staff member has a voice and receives real-time feedback. The Congresswoman works intentionally to break down traditional DC and district silos, encouraging cross-office travel, holding daily senior staff alignment calls, and maintaining a clear written standard operating procedure. And finally, she invests in her people. The selection committee recognized her strong commitment to professional development, highlighting the use of CMF resources and team assessments to align each individual's strengths with the office's mission and execution. Please join me in congratulating Representative Ashley Hinson.
Thank you, Emily, and thank you everyone this morning who is here in this room. It's great to be surrounded by so many folks who share our commitment to democracy and executing at a high level here for the people we represent. Serving Iowans is at the heart of everything I do, and you're right, we have a big communication focus in our office. Everybody knows everything that's going on. I run my office like a small business, 18 people across an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a customer service division. And so that's how I chose to set up my office, and really want to continue that focus because it's always on that results-driven public service. That means all that work that goes into returning those phone calls, making sure we're holding federal agencies accountable here, and also going to bat for our constituents when they need that help. And that is an all-of-team approach. So I'm grateful to the Congressional Management Foundation for recognizing that our team has that focus, that results-driven leadership, and most importantly, that unwavering dedication to serving Iowa families. So I'm privileged to also accept this award on my staff's behalf. At the end of the day, this job is about making a difference in people's lives, and that is what continues to motivate me. That's what these awards are all about. And one of the greatest privileges that I've had in serving in Congress is really helping Iowans to navigate the federal government and overcome some of those challenges that at times may seem impossible, right? When they're calling their congresswoman or their senator, they've reached a point where something's really, really wrong and they can't fix it on their own, and they really need our help. And so I just wanted to share one story to give you all a little bit of hope about there are still good outcomes that are happening for people in this country. Ellie Hance is a young woman whose dream was to attend the U.S. Naval Academy. She wants to step up and serve our country. It was nearly derailed, though. She had ACL surgery, and the complications from that delayed her appointment, and then just weeks before she was set to report for her appointment, that was actually withdrawn because of some concerns related to her medical records. So I will say this, that my team engaged. It was like an all-of-team approach. I think every one of my 18 staff was probably involved in this case at some point, but after weeks of persistence, we were able to get the superintendent to reapprove her appointment. She reported to the Naval Academy just a couple of weeks ago, and she will be living out her dream of serving our country. So that's the kind of story that fills my cup. That would not be happening without a great team that we've built and invested in over the years. So again, it's my honor to accept this award, and thank you all for being here today to help support democracy and all the work we do here in Congress. Thank you so much.
Our second award winner is Representative Greg Stanton. Representative Greg Stanton was selected for his innovative approach to organizational design and team management. He has intentionally restructured his office to better align around outcomes, integrating legislative and casework functions into a unified constituent advocacy team and bringing communications and outreach together under a constituent engagement team. To bridge the 3-hour time zone gap, his office uses a disciplined, signal-based communication system to ensure clarity and continuity across locations. He has also replaced traditional all-staff meetings with a focused cadence on operational touchpoints, such as legislative huddles, senior staff syncs, and a Friday look-ahead where priorities are clearly assigned and progress is consistently reviewed. The Congressman reinforces accountability and ownership with quarterly evaluations tied directly to performance-based outcomes and bonuses. At the same time, he's built a culture that elevates every voice. The selection committee highlighted the evolution of a quarterly Big Ideas Forum that actively engages junior staff, as well as the strong cohesion between district and DC teams, driven by a biannual district travel for Washington-based staff and a rigorous 5-day annual planning retreat modeled on CMS Setting the Course framework. Please join me in congratulating Representative Greg Stanton.
Thanks, Emily. Good morning, everyone. This is a great honor. Thank you to CMF. I'm 4 terms in Congress. We would not be able to set up our office successfully so quickly without the guidance of CMF that you provide, and the professional development that you provide to our staff and the staffs across the House and Senate is invaluable as these talented people, because we're here really to honor the people that work with us in the House of Representatives and in the Senate, so that they can provide the outstanding public service that they do to the people of this community. CMF is really invaluable. I love serving in the U.S. House of Representatives. I love the people I work with, the elected officials, both Democrat and Republican, incredibly talented people, but I really love working with our staff, people that are committed to service to the people of this country. It inspires me. I mean, sometimes it can be really difficult in Congress, but I'm inspired by the people that I get to work with every single day, and I love it. I'm honored to receive this award. It does belong to our staff, our professional staff that do such good work for the people of my district. My chief is here, Brad Howard, my deputy chief, Allison Childress, the great team that I'm blessed to work with every day. You said a lot of nice things about our office, but the key is hire great people, let them do their thing, let them work, and listen to them and their best ideas. The most important lesson I've learned about congressional management is that an office should be built around the people it serves. We organize our team around constituents with dedicated engagement, important advocacy functions. Our job is not just to respond when somebody contacts us, it is to listen, build relationships, identify problems early, make sure the people we represent do have a real voice in Washington. Don't just hire people to fill out an organizational chart. Hire the best people who are committed passionately to public service, understand what they do best, design a structure that allows them to succeed. The best ideas I get come from the people that I work with, every single idea. Organizational charts, they serve people, not the other way around. And when talented people join our team, we have a responsibility to create pathways for them to grow. Staff should be able to take on greater responsibility, develop new skills, manage others, and see a future for themselves in public service. And we have preferred a collaborative and relatively flat leadership style. But as our office grew, we learned that empowerment works best when it is paired with clear roles, clear accountability, real opportunities to lead. Building a stronger leadership structure was not about just adding bureaucracy. It's about giving people the support, direction, and authority they need to do their best work. So, as a member of Congress, I'm so deeply grateful to our entire team. I cannot believe the people that are willing to come work in this institution. They're passionate, they care about the service. I love it. Their talent, commitment, and belief in public service, that's the reason our office has been successful. So thank you for this wonderful, wonderful honor, CMF.
Hello, good morning. Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Winta Waldemariam, and I'm here on behalf of Palantir, a proud sponsor of CMF's Democracy Awards. I know many of you from my time in public service, and it is an honor to be with you today. Before joining Palantir, I spent 17 years in public service, primarily on Capitol Hill, with additional time in the White House and the executive branch. I had the privilege of working for remarkable leaders in both chambers of Congress, and I have a deep respect for this institution and for the work that CMF does to support and strengthen it. Palantir is a software company. We build tools institutions rely on to do complex, consequential work, helping hospitals detect sepsis symptoms earlier in order to save lives, helping manufacturers strengthen American supply chains, and supporting the men and women who keep our country safe. And what we have learned from that work is simple. Institutions succeed when the people inside of them are committed to making them work. This is why this award matters. Every year, CMF does something special. It tunes out the noise, it looks past politics, and it lifts up what is actually working in Congress. The offices that answer the phones, the staffers who solve problems for folks back home, the members who show up, roll up their sleeves, clock in, and do the work. Today, it is my honor to recognize 2 of these members for their strong commitment to bipartisanship. These 2 members that we are recognizing today do this work over and over, every day, finding common ground to reach higher ground. They come from different parties, different states, and different life experiences. What they share is the belief that what unites us as Americans matters more than what divides us as parties. It is my honor to present the Democracy Award for Bipartisanship to Representatives Lucy McBath of Georgia and French Hill of Arkansas. Let's have my hometown representative from Georgia, the Honorable Lucy McBath, come up first. And I wasn't going to mention this, but Senator Moody opened the door by talking about sorority sisters. Congresswoman McBath is my beloved sorority sister, and this is very personal for me. Before I lived in Washington, I lived in Atlanta, the capital of the South, as you all know. My mother and many of my loved ones live in Congresswoman Lucy McBath's district, and it's where I grew up. And I can tell you what her neighbors know. She did not come to Washington for a career. She came for a calling, a desire to improve the lives of Georgians and those around her. She channeled her passion into action, action that has saved lives and made her state and our country better. She passed legislation with Republican colleagues on second chances for people leaving incarceration, on juvenile justice, and on protecting children. She works with anyone from anywhere if it moves the ball for families like the ones back home in Georgia. Congresswoman, I consider myself your forever constituent, and I thank you. It is a great honor to present you with the Democracy Award for Bipartisanship.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's such a joy to be with you this morning. I'm really, really honored. This is our second award. We're so grateful, really grateful more than anything to be of service to our nation. Thank you to Wenta. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I want to say thank you so much to the Congressional Management Foundation. What you do in recognizing the value that we try so hard as members to bring to the nation, to bring to our constituents and communities. We cannot thank you enough for recognizing that we really just are trying to serve. I want to thank my wonderful staff. I recognize that as a member, I'm only as good as the people that I surround myself with. So I do want to say thank you to my district director, Chris Speed from Georgia, and also I thank the greatest chief on the Hill, Rebecca Waldorf. But thank you so much. This is such an incredible honor. I am deeply grateful to receive this award recognizing bipartisanship in Congress. At a time when our differences often receive more attention than our common ground, this recognition is a reminder that working together still matters. Bipartisanship is not about abandoning deeply held convictions. It's about respecting one another, listening to one another with humility, and finding ways to move our country forward. I've been fortunate to work alongside colleagues from both parties who understand that progress is possible only when we choose collaboration over confrontation. While we may not agree on every issue, we all share a responsibility to serve the American people with integrity and purpose. I and my staff, we accept this award not as a personal achievement, but as a reflection of the many partners, staff members from so many offices that we work with, advocates, and constituents who have helped make meaningful collaboration possible. And our nation faces challenges that cannot be solved just by one party alone. They require us to build trust, seek common ground where we can, and never lose sight of the people who sent us here to govern on their behalf. Thank you again for this tremendous honor. My staff and I will always remain committed to doing the hard work of listening, building bridges, and proving that even in divided times such as this, the public service truly can still bring people together. Thank you.
Our second honoree this morning is Congressman French Hill of Arkansas, another member that we are honored to spend time with and engage with. Through his service on the House Intelligence Committee, the Congressman has seen firsthand some of the life-saving work that Palantir does to support national security and to protect the lives of Americans here and serving overseas. And while we do not have an office in his district, we do have customers there, and they will tell you what we have come to know, that Arkansas is extremely well served by his leadership. Before he came to Congress, Congressman Hill spent 3 decades building a business from the ground up in Little Rock. He later served at the Treasury Department and in the White House under President George H.W. Bush. He knows how the economy works because he has lived it, as both a business owner and a public servant. As chairman of the Financial Services Committee, he has taken on some of the most complicated issues in Congress, from digital assets to capital markets to housing, and he has delivered. Ask his colleagues on either side of the aisle, and they will tell you the same thing. He is prepared, he is fair, and he is serious about getting things done. This is the kind of leadership that this award exists to recognize. Please join me in honoring the recipient of the Democracy Award for Bipartisanship, Congressman French Hill of Arkansas.
Good morning, and thank you for everybody gathering for the Congressional Management Foundation, and thank you for what you do for all of our staff and our members. And looking through the brochure of who's being recognized, it's just a who's who of the people that have come to be serious about serving the American people here in the House, and I was particularly gratified to see 2 chiefs of staff that I have a lot of respect for, John Byers for the House and Tony Marie Higgins in the Senate. These are 2 people that make it happen in this Congress, and I'm grateful for the chance to work particularly with Tony Marie on the benefits of Arkansans and Bozeman. You really you got past your cover on that one. She's the best. Well, my philosophy about bipartisanship is not, as Lucy said, to sacrifice somebody's basic principles about your political philosophy or serving your constituents. But my philosophy has always been, whether as a Senate staffer 40 years ago or working for President Bush or now in the House, good policy attracts good partners in both sides of the Capitol. And it's just that simple. And so I want to thank the people I get to work with every day, my Chief of Staff, Brooke Bennett, who's been at my side. She's off doing an errand for me today, I think, but my great Deputy Chief of Staff, Amelia Alert, is here, and my Communications Director, Travis. Thank you both for being here. And then I couldn't get it done at the committee without Ben Johnson, who's our Staff Director at House Financial Services Committee, and Allison Bahuniak, who's our Policy Director. Both of them are terrific. And they share that view I have, which is that good policy attracts good partners in the party or across the Capitol. And that's certainly been my experience in this Congress. My inspiration, and I'll close with this, is friendship. You know, Before all these people started commuting every week, people actually moved to Washington, D.C. and lived and brought their families and shared the congressional experience in a much more wholesome way than this chaotic race to Reagan National Airport on flyout days. And two people I always admired because of their work in the House were Nick Longworth, who served as the majority leader and speaker during the Harding and Coolidge administrations. But you have to think about this because in March, I guess they were sworn in, not January, but in March 1903, sworn into office in the House for the first time. He met a guy from Texas who went to Vanderbilt, very fine school, my alma mater, so I have to plug it. And his name was Jack Garner from Uvalde, Texas. And Cactus Jack Garner became the minority leader for the Democrats. And the two of them were best friends from 1903 till Longworth's death in 1931. And they made a pact that no matter who was the speaker, they would give each other a ride to work. Because at that time, the speaker had a car and a driver, which was a big deal. And so they had a joke like, next Congress, whose car is it going to be? Well, for the most of the 20s, it was Nick Longworth's car. And he gave his friend Garner a ride to work every day. But every day at 5 o'clock, they went down to room 128 in the House side, which is called the Board of Education room, and they would school new members on the importance of working together for the benefit of the House and getting things done, and how to do that. And so I try every month to have a Longworth-Garner dinner, and I invite 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, and we strike a blow for freedom, which means, for me, there's no politics after 5 o'clock. It's a chance to get to know people and wish that their family was in Washington, not commuting back and forth. So think about those older days, and if you can have any influence around here, getting people to move their families back to D.C. would be a big step up. Thanks for having me.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jared Powell from Anthropic, and I'm proud to present the winners of the Democracy Award for Best of Innovation and Modernization, Representative August Pfluger from Texas and Representative Seth Moulton from Massachusetts. My first boss on the Hill, former Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers, used to lament that Congress was a 19th century institution using 20th century technology try and respond to 21st century problems. And our award recipients today prove that it doesn't have to be that way. This award celebrates offices using innovative tools, technology, workflows, and procedures to improve efficiency, service delivery, and congressional operations. At Anthropic, we build advanced AI systems, including Claude, with a focus on deploying AI safely and reliably. We think a lot about how this technology can strengthen the institutions that people depend on, and Congress is at the top of that list. So it's a privilege to be here recognizing offices that are putting these tools to work to deliver results for the people they represent. Representative Pfluger is honored for building a culture where technological innovation is expected, supported, and managed. His team moved well beyond basic commercial AI to build custom in-house solutions that meaningfully change how a congressional office runs. The Pfluger Bot, a custom AI-powered mail management tool, which is integrated with their CRM, automates classification and batch routing and has cut the manual mail sorting process workload by 85%. Just as important, his team has established a rigorous internal House Office AI use policy that puts guardrails on data security and keeps human oversight in every AI-generated brief. And his work extends past his own office. As chairman of the Republican Study Committee, he pioneered tools that serve the whole institution. The RSC launched Vote Right, the first GOP app providing real-time live vote tallies, streams, and schedules, alongside BirdBot, an AI tool trained on historical records that help legislative staff draft complex budget reconciliation language. Please join me in congratulating Representative August Pfluger.
All right, no, I don't want to hear anybody laughing about the Pfluger bot, okay? It's when you think of Congress, does anybody think of innovation? I mean, this is what I love about these awards. And Jen, thank you. Jared, thank you for and doing things that we it shows our constituents that we're listening to them, that we hear them, and whether that's a bipartisan effort or whether it's an innovation award, it's really an honor to receive this. We laid a challenge out to our office, and this is not about me, and every member up here has said this. This is about our office. We laid a challenge out to our office at the beginning of last Congress, and we said, let's use AI in a way that will help with constituent services, because we receive a lot of incoming messages and calls and emails. Everybody does, but let's do it more efficiently. So before y'all start saying, wow, that's Seth Pflugerhoff, so a bunch of nerds, we're also very social, okay? And the office rose to the occasion, and I'm so proud of John, who you're gonna hear a little bit more about later in the program, and Lissa and Brooke, Alex, Thomas, Nick, Ashlyn, and Madeline, but where's Zach? This guy right here, yes, he is social, but he's also a nerd, and he also has created these amazing programs, and I hope we can all learn from them to help communicate a little bit better with our constituents. But in all seriousness, this means a lot, because we don't do this alone. We realize it takes a great team to get here and to help represent. So Jen, thank you for convening such a great event and really recognizing not the members, but the offices that make these constituent services and the outreach and the communication happen. So thank y'all, and appreciate this. It's a huge honor.
Our second award recipient is Representative Seth Moulton. Representative Moulton is recognized for his pioneering role in congressional modernization and for treating innovation as a core operational mindset rather than a side project. Inspired by General Stanley McChrystal's team of teams model, his office runs on a structure that gives staff real autonomy, cuts bureaucratic delays, and speeds up decision-making. His team bypassed standard setups entirely to build an integrated digital ecosystem on Google Workspace and Slack. On AI, his office has been forward-leaning. Following a comprehensive internal policy set in early 2024, they engineered Seth GPT, a custom chatbot trained on the members' voting records, press releases, and office procedures, so interns can handle complex constituent inquiries accurately. They also built the Capitol Hill Counselor, an AI thought partner modeled on a veteran Hill staffer that gives junior aides structured, actionable guidance. That sophistication carries through to a partnership with Civic to automate CRM data visualizations and to use AI to turn constituent service metrics into clear, presentation-ready reports. Please join me in congratulating Representative Seth Moulton.
I'm obviously not Representative Seth Moulton. Hello, everyone. Thank you to the Congressional Management Foundation, and congratulations to all the other members and staff who are here today who won, and our chiefs. Obviously, this Hill couldn't run without our staff, and our teams are grateful. I'm glad to have Danielle from our district office here. We love integration, and we love bringing our Massachusetts team down. Congressman Moulton sent his regards. He's sorry he can't be here, but he's proud of this one. This will be our last Democracy Award as a congressional office, so it's very meaningful to close out on this. So to everybody in this room, keep pushing, keep asking how this institution can be smarter and faster and more responsive to our constituents. Thank you all.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Everyone's feeling good? For those of you I don't know, my name is Liam DeClivelo. I serve as a co-founder and president of American Policy Ventures. American Policy Ventures is a bipartisan organization that is focused on trying to reinforce, strengthen, and support pragmatic members of Congress in the House, in the Senate, Republicans and Democrats. We go to members of Congress, we ask them what is the things they're excited about working on that could be bipartisan, and we try to work backward and help them to get those things done. It is for that reason that I'm so appreciative to CMF for putting this event on. We're so appreciative to CMF because I think we all feel the same thing, that the news is so dominated by whatever is the dumbest thing a member of Congress said that day, and there is relatively little to no attention paid to the actual work that has an impact on the public. So with that, I am really pleased and honored to be presenting the award for Best Constituent Experience in Washington, D.C. To Senator James Lankford of Oklahoma and to Representative Val Hoyle of Oregon. Please give them a round of applause. So first, why were these two chosen? First, for Senator Lankford. This award is focused on identifying and rewarding those offices that create that extra level of a special experience for their constituents when they come to Washington, D.C. As we all know, when folks make that trip, that might be their one trip they make to D.C. in their entire life, that one field trip, that one family trip that they saved up for. Senator Lankford is honored for his exceptional constituent hospitality, driven by his personal background as a youth pastor. Grounded in his gold ticket service philosophy, his team has utilized a streamlined and user-friendly digital portal that empowers everyone from Oklahoma to seamlessly arrange staff-led Capitol tours, secure room reservations in the Capitol. Senator Lankford has a priority of delivering a personalized and really memorable experience. He personally leads exclusive after-hours evening tours on the regular of the U.S. Capitol, giving his constituents direct access to everything from the Speaker's balcony and the House and Senate floor. Senator Lankford also organizes quarterly prayer walks with his constituents through historical Capitol rooms here on the Capitol campus. And also he hosts a weekly Java with James session for his constituents as well. His office has a rigorous operational structure to eliminate service gaps across time zones so that everyone in DC and in Oklahoma can operate with fully synchronized hours. His district and state staffers actively manage shared voicemail queues so that no constituent request goes unanswered. Their team's dedication extends to their premier internship program, which is part of the reason they received this award, which prioritizes local residents and coordinates collaborative networking opportunities for the students that they bring in. Please join me in congratulating Senator James Lankford.
Well, Liam, thank you. That's very kind of you, Liam. And Jen, thank you, and for all the work that you are doing year-round to be able to help Congress be better. So we basically got the award for being fun. I guess, which is a rare thing around here. We affectionately call our office the Oklahoma Embassy. That when Okies come to DC, we want them to know they've got a spot where they can land, where people speak fluent Okie, and we have a chance to be able to just chit-chat and catch up. It is a difficult thing for people to be able to get to DC, and we forget that. Those of us that fly in and out of DCA every week or on a regular basis forget that in Oklahoma there are 14 gates in our airport in Oklahoma City, and when they get here, it's a confusing place to be able to move around. I still have a lot of constituents that have never used Uber, and when they get here, it's just not a fun place to be able to try to move around. The baseline of this really started for me in a strange way for my grandparents. My grandparents were dairy farmers in a very small family dairy farm, and the two of them got involved locally with other dairy farmers, then they got involved in other ways, and you know the story. Eventually they were asked to represent dairy farmers in Washington, D.C. And so 2 different times they had to leave the dairy farm, which is not easy to do. The cows do not wait. So they had to leave the dairy farm 2 different times to come to Washington, D.C. to meet with members of the House and the Senate to try to explain extremely complicated dairy policy. Am I right on that, John Bozeman? Very complicated. Okay, so that was what they came to do. Now, they were just dairy farmers. They didn't know D.C., they didn't know these people, they didn't know anything else. They just came, and it was hard for them. Every constituent that we meet with paid for an expensive hotel. They paid for expensive food. In Oklahoma, if you spend $50 for a steak, it's this big. In D.C., if you spend $50 for a steak, it's that big. Everything about it is wrong to them. So we worked very, very hard as a team to be able to make them feel at home and to be able to make it easier for them. So I do appreciate that. Our constituent services that are here, and the way we try to take care of people, and then the folks that are back in state and try to do the handoff well on that is extremely important, because the 4 million people that I have the honor of getting a chance to represent don't always come here, and as has been mentioned before, when they call our office, it's usually not a good day. They're upset about something, and they're trying to figure out, how do we actually solve this? So we are determined, in God's love and American patriotism, to be able to help them walk through the process and see if we can figure this out together. So thank you for honoring people, I guess, that honor people. I have an incredible staff that loves to be able to take care of folks, led by my chief of staff, Derek, many of you know Max that's over there. We've got Landon. We've got several folks that are here on our team as well. And thank you for recognizing them and for the work we try to do for Oklahomans.
And now for our second awardee for Best Constituent Experience in DC. As I mentioned, we have Representative Val Hoyle from Oregon. I'm going to go a little bit off script on this one because she and I were having a great conversation earlier, and I want to cue her up to tell a great story. But Representative Val Hoyle brings a really, truly, genuinely service-oriented culture that prioritizes making the nation's capital feel personal for people who are coming from 3,000 miles away. Everything from thinking about how to mitigate time zone fatigue, again, prioritizing morning voicemail retrieval to capture West Coast requests in a timely manner. The selection committee that determined the winners of these awards praised her office's signature Evening Capitol Tours program. They hold it twice a month when they have a sort of critical mass of constituents in town, and they put together these larger evening tours. These evening events that they do twice a month, begin with a reception in the office featuring localized Oregon alcohol and snacks, and they culminate in an exclusive 2-hour history tour personally led by the Congresswoman. And I'll let her tell you more about it, but I think it is remarkable the way that her office has, on these tours, uses the tours not only as a way to serve their constituents, but as a mechanism to bring constituents together across lines of ideological difference or difference of perspective who might not otherwise have a mechanism to bond with one another, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Last thing I'll mention is just that Congresswoman Hoyle's office also maintains a form-free scheduling process conducted entirely digitally all over email that fosters multi-year relationships with their annual fly-in groups from the district. And so this whole philosophy of accessibility, accountability, ensures that the office almost never turns down a constituent meeting, handling upward of 100 meetings per month, and of those 100 meetings, over 50% of them feature direct FaceTime with the Congresswoman from their constituents. So without further ado, Congresswoman Val Hoyle.
This is truly a great honor, and I do want to say, yes, we have a little reception with snacks and Oregon wine and beer, because we make great wine and beer. Also kombucha, because Oregon, right? So I want to thank CMF, because this truly is a great honor, but every office is only as good as its staff, and I get to work with, I think, the best quality staff in this building. I do want to highlight Madeline Ix and David Martinez. They operate our front desk like air traffic control and make sure everyone, when they walk in our office, feels Oregon. It takes my constituents between 10 and 14 hours to get to Washington, D.C. And these are people who many times have never been this far, have never been to a place like this. So when they walk in, whether it's our tribes, our trees, our rivers, you walk in, our workers, you feel Oregon when you come into our office, and we welcome them. And my district is made up of very progressive and very conservative areas, rural, coastal, urban. 45% of my constituents are not Democrats or Republicans. You cannot get elected in my district with one party. And I think if we have more districts like this place would run better. But that means when people walk in, regardless of where they come from, we take care of them because we serve them. And that is the mission of our office. And yes, I do bring constituents on evening tours, and because this Capitol is the people's house, and it's intimidating, and we want them to feel like it is their house, it is their history, and we bring people together, as they said, farmers and students and people from different parties. And I will, Liam encouraged me to tell my favorite story. My favorite tour was we had executive leadership from NPR and Oregon Public Broadcasting, and because my district grows the best sugar beet seed in the country, it is just a fact. I'll fight you on that. So from North Dakota and Minnesota, they were there, and then some sugarcane farmers from southern Louisiana who were at least 3 to 4 margaritas in. I'm not judging, that's just like, we didn't serve them, they just came that way. And then some students from American University. We all cry-laughed, it was so funny, but these are people that never would have gotten into the same room with each other, and we spent 3 hours together walking through the Capitol, talking about history, sharing their perspectives, but this is what we need more of. And again, in the House, we are the body of the people. We can only be elected and put here by the people. And the people are who employ us. So we make sure that this Capitol, right, the people's house, is accessible to the people. And the Senate is lovely. But I'm not in the Senate. So you are welcome to come to our office, and when you come in, you will feel Oregon and you will feel welcome. And again, this is a great honor, but this is all on my staff, and thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. I'm getting used to my readers, so bear with me. I'm Lee Sokola, Vice Chair of CMF Board of Directors, and I am proud today to present the winners of the Democracy Awards for Best Constituent Correspondence and Engagement. Starting my Hill career as a legislative correspondent, this one's especially personal to me. The awards are for Representative Mike Flood and Senator Jeff Merkley. Our first award winner, Representative Mike Flood, honors an office that demonstrates strong leadership, professional development, communication, planning, and a high-performing workplace culture. Representative Flood has developed a highly structured communications framework that focuses on proactive constituent visibility. In 2025, the office managed comprehensive multi-channel operations that successfully provided official and timely responses to 21,209 unique constituents. That's amazing. They enforce a strict one-day business turnaround policy to answer or acknowledge all engagement made with the office. And each evening, the Congressman personally reviews a daily call log containing names, contact details, and issue codes from all phone inquiries, and uses that report to personally call back 5 to 7 constituents every day. To scale his policy responses, the team compiles a weekly mail report containing messages that the Congressman uses to dictate individual stances. Their deployment of high-traffic billboards and targeted commercials instruct rural constituents on how to leverage the office for federal casework.
Congressman Flood expanded his reach by sending out 2,100 hand-signed certificates of recognition to local achievers last year and modernized the weekly FloodWatch e-newsletter. The newsletter uses short visual snippets and is integrated with the Congressman's LinkedIn profile, where he actively follows up with local leaders. The office was also lauded for its special event programming, including the multi-year Flyover FinTech Conference at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus, alongside hosting an immersive federal government day at local high schools to connect federal agencies directly with rural students. Please join me in congratulating Representative Mike Flood.
Well, thank you so much. Especially want to thank Maggie, Deb, Jeremy, Carter, all the folks in my office. You took my speech. You said everything. I'll leave you with one story. I'm one of the few that still does town halls. And I do think nothing gets better unless we talk to each other. But I've gotten to know people that disagree with me very well. Last summer in August, I had done 2 town halls, and I always go out in front before the town hall and shake everybody's hand. Because I think it's harder to hate up close. And so this guy comes up to me, he's like, hey, how are your kids doing? And I'm like, well, my oldest is going to college, my youngest is getting ready for football, he's gonna be a sophomore. And he tells me about his kids, you know, they're in the Lincoln Public School system. We have a thing, we talk, and I said, hey, have a great rest of the summer, because it was like early August. 20 minutes later, I'm doing a town hall, and he's standing up, jumping in the back, flipping me off with both fingers, and his words are matching what his fingers are doing. And I was just like, is that all you got? This is a tough environment sometimes, but nothing gets better if you don't show up in the town square and answer some questions. People sent us here to convince our colleagues to go the way that people in your district want to go, and that's not easy. But if you can't do it back home, can you do it in Washington? You got to stand up and be present. You got to stand up and be accessible. You got to stand up and be accountable. And that means dealing with some characters every once in a while. The people in this room, they do that kind of stuff every day, and I do think it will help, because if we stop showing up, nothing's going to get better. Thank you.
Our second award winner, Senator Jeff Merkley, is honored for his highly structured approach to constituent communication and his place-based community engagement across all 36 counties of Oregon. His office handles a massive volume of communication, processing over 1.3 million messages and 827,000 unique constituent contacts just last year. This intake includes automated batching and coding, multi-layer policy edits, and personal review by the senator for highly profile and newsworthy topics. To complement this, their phone operations are managed simultaneously across both coasts to capture live calls from 9 a.m. Eastern until 5 p.m. Pacific. Their creative vision of the Oregon Treasures Quest booklet is another highlight. This unique initiative provides constituents with a curated guide to natural and cultural landmarks across every county, creating an entirely fresh entry point for residents who do not traditionally interact with congressional offices. The program had over 400 participants last year, visiting at least 10 counties, culminating in an exclusive local year-end celebration with Senator Merkley. This feedback loop has transformed their outreach as constituents write back to recommend hidden landmarks. His communications team actively collaborates with regional historical societies, utilizing these grassroots insights to map out alternate town hall locations and drive interactive media educational campaigns. The office runs an incredibly sophisticated email program reaching 650,000 unique subscribers, using targeted geographic and historical segmentation to maintain an exceptional 20 to 30% open rate. Please join me in congratulating Senator Jeff Merkley.
Well, Leah, thank you very much. You know, it's 50 years ago this summer that I came here as an intern for Senator Hatfield, and I was the third of the interns arriving, and the last, and there's just 3, And the last one arriving was assigned to come in an hour early and open all the mail. And that was about 100 letters a day, snail mail. Run them through, sort them into 4 stacks for the 4 legislative correspondents, and every single letter had to have a substantive response by the end of the day. Well, that was Senator Hatfield's initiative, and he was well regarded for having one of the most efficient offices. And since he was my political mentor, when I was elected to the Senate, I said, we have to do what Senator Hatfield did. But instead of 100 letters a day, we get 5,000 letters a day. Well, that's a bit of a challenge, but we don't get them all done on the same day those emails arrive, but we do a substantive policy response to every single letter. And then we answer about 400 phone calls, and with this virtual front office, most of them, almost all of them on a normal day are answered in person. So that type of connection across Oregon is just hugely, hugely valuable. But my team, and Marcy Sutter over here, wave your hand to everyone. She is doing so much social media that makes sense, but she also is helping on another project. You mentioned it, the Oregon Treasure Quest. And what is this? Well, every year I go to all 36 counties. I hold a meeting with all the local elected leaders. I hold a meeting with the press, and then I hold a meeting with the public, a town hall. I'm about 648 town halls. No one's counting, but I guess I'm counting. And it's, over the years, hundreds of town halls, people really get to know you, and they really come to be very comfortable raising their issues. But as I go to these town halls, driving across the 300 miles north to south, 400 miles east to west of Oregon, I see so many cool things. And so I finally said, team, let's put together a pamphlet that has the coolest public activities in every single county. Now, you are looking at these pictures and you're thinking, what am I going to do this August? Oh, Senator Merkley has the Oregon Treasure Quest. And if we go out with our friends, our kids, our family, and we go to 10 counties and we take a selfie and send it into his office, we're invited to the annual Treasure Quest party. And we're having our 3rd annual Treasure Quest. So if you're wondering what you're going to do this summer, we have a whole stack of Oregon Treasure Quest pamphlets waiting for you on your way out the door, and it's on my website as well. I have an incredible team that makes all of this happen. I think it's an incredible privilege to be able to serve the people of Oregon. I come from the policy side of the world, but I just love the constituent connection portion. So thank you for all the work the board and the team are doing here. Thank you for the recognition. And let's have a lot more, a lot more connection with people, no matter their party or their politics. When you connect in person, you can do a better job of helping to build a better community, a better state, a better nation, and a better world. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Army Robinson, and I'm proud to present the Best of Constituent Service for our House awardees on behalf of the Board of Directors for the Congressional Management Foundation. This award recognizes service and the customer service front door of the federal government, epitomized by the congressional offices who take that responsibility seriously. It reflects a kind of service that doesn't happen by accident. It reflects leadership from a member all the way through in partnership with staff who take that responsibility seriously and value the opportunity to solve problems for people every day. Today's first award goes to Representative Kevin Kiley. Representative Kiley is recognized for building an exceptionally efficient constituent service operation that sets rigorous standards for responsiveness. Over 3.5 years, his district team has handled more than 6,000 complex casework inquiries while maintaining a strict protocol of responding to constituents within 1 to 2 days. Using structured procedures and automated templates within the IndiGov CRM system, the team ensures consistent follow-up with federal agencies. They also proactively expand awareness of the federal resources through targeted outreach, including radio and weekly newsletters highlighting casework successes. Beyond standard agency navigation, Representative Kiley's team maintains more than 50 specialized community contact lists for distribution of resource letters to local schools and elected officials. The team has demonstrated an exceptional commitment to community preservation by partnering with the Library of Congress to host localized Veterans History Project workshops where oral history interviews of local veterans are personally recorded and preserved. Please join me in recognizing Congressman Kevin Kiley.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you to the Congressional Management Foundation for looking at representation through a lens that doesn't usually make the headlines, but is really what it's all about. And I've said since my first day in office that constituent service is our top priority. So receiving this recognition is really an incredible honor. And it's really all about our just amazing district office team. You will not find a harder working group anywhere, starting with our district director, Shalisa Horvat, who walked into my office when I was in the state assembly over 9 years ago, a recent college graduate with a resume in hand, and has been with our office since, has been our district director since I've been in the House. Has set up a district office that is at once a well-oiled machine, but is always open and accessible and personal and friendly and always innovating and learning and looking to do things better. As well as Jack Thompson, our senior field representative, who's about as recognizable in the district as I am at this point and arguably more popular. Peter, who is a legend in his own time, has become known as an absolute master of casework, as well as Natalia and Mackenzie, who are incredible members of our team, and our DC team here that supports constituent service in important ways, and of course our one-of-a-kind Chief of Staff, Bob Holste, who this would not be possible without. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've just been out and about, whether in official or unofficial capacity. Maybe I'm just at a restaurant. Pretty much every time I go anywhere where someone comes up to me and says, your office was able to help me get my VA benefits, or get my Social Security check, or get this tax refund I've been trying to get for 2 years, or get my passport when I was going to miss my daughter's wedding over in Italy. And, you know, these are the things that really impact people's lives in ways that are a lot more important than most of what we do here in Washington, D.C. But at the same time, I think that this paradigm of constituent service is one that I'd like to see become more central in our politics. You know, we always say that when someone comes to us as a constituent, we don't ask, are you Democrat or Republican or independent? We don't ask, who did you vote for president? We ask, what is your problem and how can we solve that problem? And I think that's the approach we could use more of around here, not casting blame, not scoring points, but solving problems. After all, at the end of the day, legislating is constituent service writ large. And if we could approach it that way more, then I think things would function a little better around here, and we'd have an institution that better serves the American people. So thank you very much.
Our second award winner this morning is Representative Sarah McBride. Representative McBride has established constituent care as a top priority from day one. Her team built a disciplined and measurable approach to constituent care, serving the largest congressional district by population. Her office uses monthly constituent surveys to continuously audit their performance, achieving a 98.6 casework satisfaction rate while actively addressing gaps in the remaining cases. Her team maintains a consistent 1 to 2 day response protocol and conducts weekly internal reviews to remove bottlenecks and ensure accountability. She is also recognized for proactive outreach and equity in service delivery, reflecting the linguistic diversity of her district. The office has translated key constituent resources, including federal funding navigator guide, into Spanish and Haitian Creole. Each of the original bills she has introduced was directly shaped by constituent interactions, such as introducing the Save Our Poultry Act after meeting a local egg farmer, Mike, to address avian flu threats. Please join me in congratulating Representative Sarah McBride.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to CMF for the work that you are doing every single day and for bringing us all together this morning. Several congratulations are in order. First of all, congratulations to everyone in this room for your patience and perseverance. We are nearing the end of the program. As a freshman in the minority party, I'm in my rightful place near the end of the line of speakers. It was a bold choice to have like a dozen members of Congress speak for 2 minutes, but everyone did a great job. And on that note, congratulations to all of the other awardees today. Some of the best that Congress has to offer is represented in this room, both members and staff. I'm incredibly excited to stand here a year and a half into my first term to accept on behalf of my office this award. But as others have said, this award truly reflects the work of our constituent advocate team and belongs to them. Kevin, I can relate to having a state director who is far more popular than me. We have our state director here, Brian Short. We have our previous CMF Best Chief of Staff awardee, Roddy Flynn, in the room. And then, of course, our entire constituent advocacy team back in Delaware, Mackenzie, Raina, Aja, Xander, and Laura, who every day serve as a front door to more than 1 million Delawareans in moments of need, anxiety, and fear. And they are doing this work across our state with determination, with urgency, but more than anything else with love for the people we represent and love for the state that we serve. While constituent advocacy in each individual case will not solve problems for everyone, that case might mean everything to someone. Whether it's a veteran in need of the benefits that they have earned serving our country, or a senior living on a fixed income, waiting for money that this government owes them. It can be life-changing and for some even life-saving. But while it is incredibly important to the individual at this particular moment, as others have alluded to, constituent advocacy and services plays a more profound role than ever in the health of our democracy. Because at a moment when trust is lower than it should be and when this body is not always living up to its fullest potential, serving our constituents by helping them, by doing all we can to fix their problems, and even if we can't get caught trying, it helps to restore trust, instill hope, and remind people that democracy can still deliver for them. So thank you all very much, and congratulations to everyone.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lindsay Kerr. I am a proud CMF board member and former Chief of Staff to Senator Amy Klobuchar, and I am thrilled to be able to present to you the winners of Senate Chief of Staff of the Year, Toni Marie Higgins and Mike Henry. So now, sometimes I find the role of Chief of Staff hard to explain because the range of responsibilities can be extreme. 1 minute, you might be negotiating a landmark piece of legislation on behalf of your boss, party, the country. And the next minute, you might find yourself crouched down in the Judiciary Committee anteroom, heating up an old baked potato so that your boss can come take bites during breaks in rounds of questioning a Supreme Court nominee. Not that I've ever had to do that. It's public service. So the Chief of Staff role is unique, unpredictable, and in my view, the best job in Washington. It is also an enormous responsibility. You're managing dozens of staff, multi-million-dollar budgets, and the impossible pressures of a 24-hour news cycle. Chiefs are entrusted with serving their members, leading their teams, and protecting the institution both on ordinary days and its most difficult moments. This award recognizes tenured chiefs who demonstrate exceptional leadership, strategic vision, staff development, and service to the institution of Congress. And the coolest part about this award is that it is fellow chiefs who nominate their colleagues to receive it. So first, I'll present to Tony Marie. Yesterday, I texted Fitz Elder, who many of you know is Senator Bozeman's staff director on the Agriculture Committee, and I told him I got to present this to you, and he said, "It is hard to think about Senator Bozeman without also thinking about Tony Marie. She is a pragmatic advisor who honors the best traditions of the Senate and is deeply respected by her colleagues. And every single person who has met Tony Marie, Republican or Democrat, will echo that same thing. She has been a core part of Senator Bozeman's team for more than 20 years. And like all chiefs, she works to meet the needs of today while having a game plan for the problems of tomorrow. Success follows her, whether that be the team's legislative or communications priorities or overseeing a team of more than 50 so that they function as one. At the center of it all is her heart. She is someone who leads with compassion and empathy for her member, her team, and her colleagues. She's an active participant in the Capitol Hill community as a member of Republicans Associated for Mutual Support and as a Bible study leader beyond the walls of the office. She is someone who stands on the shoulders of women leaders who came before her and takes seriously the responsibility of nurturing new women leaders. This award is truly well-deserved. Please join me in congratulating Tony Marie.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction. My boss is delighting in the fact that I have to be up here delivering the speech and not him. But thank you to the Congressional Management Foundation. CMF is an invaluable resource for congressional offices, and I am so grateful for the work they do, the resources they share, and their unwavering commitment to strengthening Congress as an institution. Under Jen Dalby's leadership, CMF has expanded its impact and advanced its mission in meaningful ways, and it's truly a pleasure to work with her. In 2018, the Bozeman office was honored to receive CMF's award for Best Constituent Service, an achievement we remain incredibly proud of. To now be honored personally is truly humbling. I also want to congratulate my fellow chiefs of staff being recognized today, Mike, Elizabeth, and John. Mike, in particular, has been a wonderful colleague and friend who shares a sincere commitment to bipartisanship in the Senate. And fun fact, we grew up in neighboring rival towns in New Jersey. I want to thank my parents for their unwavering love and support throughout my life. They taught me determination, hard work, and resilience by example, qualities that have guided me throughout my years on Capitol Hill. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank my partner in this crazy journey, my husband, John, who's here. One of the questions I get asked most often is how I manage the demands of this job while raising 2 young children. The answer is simple. I have an incredible husband. He's the best dad I know. He has sacrificed so much to make it possible for me not only to do this job, but to do it well for so many years. I often joke that no one in my family really understands exactly what I do, but they've never questioned why it matters or the commitment it requires. I could never have done this without their constant love and support, and I'm incredibly blessed to have them in my life. I'd also like to thank every member of Team Bozeman, past and present. I know every chief of staff believes they have the best team, but I'm convinced that is the case with us. Through long hours, late nights, and the relentless Senate schedule, your dedication to Senator Bozeman and the people of Arkansas has been extraordinary. You make my job easier every single day, and I'm so grateful to work alongside each of you. I also need to recognize an extraordinary group of women who have made this job immeasurably more rewarding. My fellow female chiefs of staff, both Republican and Democrat. We've built something truly special, a community rooted in trust, friendship, and mutual respect. This job can be demanding, isolating, and at times overwhelming, but these women have been a constant source of encouragement, wisdom, and laughter. They've celebrated the highs, helped carry one another through the lows, and reminded me that even in an increasingly partisan environment, genuine friendships can flourish. Finally, I want to thank my boss, Senator Bozeman, who I've had the privilege of serving for nearly 20 years. There really aren't words to express what an honor it has been to work for someone of such integrity, humility, and decency. He took a chance on a young Yankee, and yes, after all these years, he still calls me that. He has given me incredible opportunities, trusted me with tremendous responsibility, and allowed me the freedom to succeed and occasionally to fail, always with his confidence and support. I'm also so grateful that his better half, Kathy, is here today. Kathy has been one of my earliest champions, and I'm thankful for her kindness, wisdom, and friendship over the years. As I reflected on 20 years of public service, I realized that some of the boundless optimism I had as a 22-year-old staffer has naturally faded. It has been replaced by something much more meaningful, profound gratitude. Gratitude not just for legislative accomplishments or election victories, but for the opportunity to serve, to lead an exceptional team, to mentor the next generation of public servants, and to spend my career working for genuinely good people. If there is any legacy I hope to leave behind, it's one defined by integrity, a commitment to bipartisanship, and a willingness to invest in others. I'll close with sound advice that Senator Boozman often gives, echoing his former coach, that there are two kinds of people in this world, givers and takers. Be a giver. He doesn't just say those words, he lives them every single day. His example has inspired me and countless others, and I will carry that lesson with me for the rest of my life. Thank you again for this honor, to CMF and to the staff who make the Democracy Awards possible.
Okay. Our second honoree, Mike Henry, has served as Senator Kane's chief of staff since the senator first arrived in the Senate. I told Mike Lynch, Senator Schumer's chief of staff, that Mike was getting this award. And Mike said, Mike is the person that you want in the room when the problem is difficult, the stakes are high, and the path forward is unclear. He is a fierce negotiator on behalf of his boss and the people of Virginia. But he is also a trusted partner who understands that protecting the Senate as an institution sometimes requires listening, compromise, and relationships that extend beyond your own party. Mike has built a model office grounded in empathy, tradition, innovation, and respect for public service. He is known as a mentor, a collaborator, and a generous colleague who brings chiefs together and makes the entire institution stronger. And in fact, when you become a new chief, he is the first to reach out to you and welcome to the team. The fact that Mike was nominated by the people who work alongside him may be the highest praise that a chief can receive, because they know the public victories and the private burdens of the job, and they know the character required to carry them well. Please join me in congratulating Mike Henry.
Good morning, everybody. Lindsay, thank you so much for those beautiful words. I want to thank CMF. I want to thank my colleagues, Republican and Democrat. It's so nice to have you here, Michelle and JT. You guys are mentors to me. And Tony Marie, you are such a great partner on so many things. I love you to death, and I'm so glad I'm sharing this gift, this award with you. And then Elizabeth and John, that'll be up in a minute. Congratulations to you as well. This is a special place, the United States Senate. I love working here. I never thought I'd be here. And the reason why this is such a special place is because we have special people. And it's the members, and personally though, to me, it's my colleagues, both Democrats and Republicans. And it's an honor, especially in the times that we live in, that where there is a lot of division, that I still get to wake up every morning and work with really amazing people. I also want to thank Senator Kane for putting trust in me to run his office. I also want to thank the constituents and the voters of Virginia who put him in office to let me serve. It's really been a highlight of my life. I also want to thank my wife Danielle and my kids. As many people in this room know, when you have a leadership role in the United States Senate or just working in the United States Senate, that means late nights, early mornings at times. And, you know, balancing is important, and that does happen with all of us, but you still miss something every once in a while. I want to thank my extended family as well, who are probably watching on the web online right now. And then the other thing is, it's amazing what you have to do to get a United States Senate staffer to come over to the House side. You got to recognize them in a really amazing way. And then the last thing is I just want to talk about my staff real briefly. I have an amazing staff. The reason why I'm standing before you is because of them. So the Ledge Department, the Constituent Service, the Press Department, scheduling, I'm great because they're amazing, and they do a lot better job than I do, quite frankly. So thanks again, Jen, the Board of Directors, and CMF. I deeply appreciate this recognition. It'll be the highlight of my Senate career. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I'm Alan Phillip, Executive Vice President of With Honor, and I'm honored to present the Democracy Award for U.S. House Chief of Staff of the Year. With Honor is a cross-partisan nonprofit promoting bipartisanship in Congress by supporting principled veteran leaders on both sides of the aisle. These leaders take the With Honor pledge to serve with integrity, civility, and courage, especially the courage to work across party lines. Alongside the bipartisan Four-Country Caucus, we work to pass legislation on national security, national service, and veterans affairs. But I served as Chief of Staff before this, and I know firsthand that members don't do this work alone. Behind every principled policymaker is a dedicated staff, and quality staff are a reflection of a quality chief, and that's who we honor today. Our first awardee is John Byers, Chief of Staff to Congressman August Pfluger, a retired Air Force colonel and member of the Four-Country Caucus, and a self-proclaimed nerd, as we found out earlier today. One of the things that sets John apart is that he carries 2 full-time jobs, running Mr. Pfluger's congressional office and the Republican Study Committee chairmanship, and still stays present for every member of his staff. He doesn't just lead, he empowers others to lead. And through it all, he remains committed to the congressman, the people of Texas' 11th district, his team, and most importantly, his family. We saw John's leadership up close, working with him on the bipartisan ACES Act, Congressman Pfluger's bill to lower cancer rates among military aviators. It's proof of what principled institutional leadership can achieve. Please join me in congratulating John Byers.
Thanks very much, Alan. And as all good chiefs of staff, August, votes have been called, so you have 3 or 4 minutes here. Thanks, everyone, for coming, and thank you to the Congressional Management Foundation for the role you play in helping to raise the next generation of great public servants. To Jen and her team, Michelle and the board, job well done on providing meaningful year-round curriculum I know many of us find invaluable. And thank you for the recognition here for myself, but of course I share this recognition with my incredible team of talented and hardworking people who put our shared mission first, day in and day out. That's really the best part of the job, the staff, the people. Our title has staff in the name. The staff are our people, our farm team, our support, our inner circle, our protectees. Every single day, someone on our team does something incredible. And that's the best part of the job, that every day the staff has the ability to change someone's life for good. Show me another line of work, other than Capitol Hill, that has all the elements of everyone else's lines of work. We're customer service, we're advertising, we're finance or tax specialists, we're healthcare specialists. We need profound knowledge in national security or foreign affairs. We set up events. We're writers, thinkers, planners, event planners, travel agents, fundraisers, psychologists, psychiatrists. And most important, good staff has the human touch of sitting and meeting with people in person on a regular basis, on understanding the human condition, and seeing and feeling the plight of others. And our teams do this every day, switching skills on and off with what the moment demands. Thank you for everyone in this room for using this knowledge and that power for good. They are the ones that deserve this recognition. I want to thank Congressman Pfluger for entrusting me with the honor of a lifetime to serve as his Chief of Staff. Congressman Pfluger is a man with deep love of country and personal kindness that sets the tone for our office. Thank you for everything. So many wonderful memories, moments, and now 2 different blood pressure medications. I want to thank my colleagues Brooke, Lissa, Zach, and Alex for being here today. Brooke and Lissa were there with me when we opened this office 6 years ago. I could not do this job without the love and support of my family and my wonderful wife, Leslie, here today. Leslie and I met at the Capitol Hill Club. It wasn't just the pigs in the blanket talking. I knew we were getting married the minute we met. Thank you for your love and support. You shoulder a great burden so I can do the job I love. Thank you. I love you. And I cannot pick up the kids today because I have something with August. To the other winners, congratulations. You deserve it. And again, thank you to CMF.
Well, you know what? Having spent hours upon hours in the dingy basement of the Capitol Hill Club, I'm glad that something good came out of it. Our second award winner is Elizabeth Amster. Gosh. Liz has been called the heart of Team Ach and Klaas. She executes with precision and purpose, delivers decisive judgment under demanding deadlines, and invests deeply in the people around her. Talk to anyone on her team, and you'll see it immediately. Ask around Capitol Hill, and it won't take long to find someone Liz has extended a hand to. Her dedication reaches well beyond her office. Liz and her team have also played a critical role encouraging the growth of the biotech sector of our economy, one of the most important and emerging parts of our economy and national security priorities. Her leadership in shaping thoughtful bipartisan policy is in a rapidly evolving space speaks for herself. Please join me in congratulating Elizabeth Amster.
Hi, I apologize in advance if this sounds too much like an Oscar speech and you have to play me off, but I'm gonna thank as many people as possible who helped me get to where I am before they call votes. Thank you so much to the board at CMF for this award. I'd like to thank Jen Daube for her never-ending advocacy for staff and Congress as an institution. Yeah, give it up. She thinks about the needs of offices and chiefs every single day, and I'm personally grateful for your mentorship since I was a random Dem LA you met on a trip to Germany nearly a decade ago. Thank you to Lee Sokola, who had the unique honor of calling me to inform me of this good news while I have been crying my eyes out writing a different speech for my best friend's wedding. I did not know you were gonna be here today, Shawanza, but Shawanza Goff, who has had my back when a lot of other people in this building did not. Thank you so much for that. I wanna congratulate all of today's winners with a special shout out to my fellow Chiefs of the Year, Tony Marie Higgins, Mike Henry, and John Byers. We all gave the CMF staff heartburn with our nearly unusable headshots. We never have the time to take our own because we're usually just sending our bosses. I've only worked in 2 offices here, and I hit the jackpot twice. Former Congresswoman Kathleen Rice took a chance on a recently laid-off bridal registry consultant to work on her first congressional campaign, invited me down to DC, and ultimately named me her DC Chief of Staff. There's something really special about being able to serve your home district, and I'm grateful I had the opportunity to work for Team KR in the South Shore of Long Island. I didn't think I knew how to do this job for anyone besides Kathleen, but I did have high expectations for who I would be willing to work for after her. They needed to be principled, dedicated to their district, and committed to durable legislative accomplishment. And just like everything else in his life, Jake Auchincloss overachieved on my checklist. The MAO4 is one of the most well-informed, engaged constituencies, and it's a rewarding challenge being able to serve our district every day. These buildings run on relationships. We've heard a lot about that today. I first learned that in George Baker and Frank Vlasik's lobbying and government class at Hamilton College. They're both lobbyists at Williams & Jensen, and they teach a course at our alma mater every 4 years, and they've been two of my biggest cheerleaders in DC ever since. For a school of only 1,800 people, Hamilton boasts 4 Democratic women chiefs of staff, 2 of us who took their class together back in 2012. Being a chief can often be a weird, lonely job, so I want to thank some of my wonderful friends who I know nominated me for this award, Steffi Bezrucki, Emily Crearand, Chloe Hunt, and Eugen Lee. I want to thank the Crones and the New York Lady Chiefs group chats because I wouldn't be able to do this job without you. Thank you to Katie Papa, Kate Keating, and Elizabeth Stanley for all your advice and guidance over the years. I want to thank my incredible staff who pulled a reverse coup to nominate me, especially our senior staff team, Stephanie Gray, Marilee Rogers, and Georgina Burrows. Team Auchincloss, current and alumni, is an exemplary team of public servants that I am honored to lead. There's no 2 people I owe more in my career to than Nell Riley and Amanda Walsh. Nell was the first and only chief of staff I worked for, so everything I do now can all be credited to and/or blamed on her. After nearly 7 years in this role, I still often think to myself, what would Nell do? And Mand, who is watching this from New York, you're the only person I'd ever want to co-chief with and my work wife for life. And finally, I need to thank my parents, Jeffrey Amster and Anna Hall Amster. I could not have asked for 2 better examples of public servants. Thank you so much for being here today and for supporting me as you always have. Thank you.
We've run a little bit over today, and I thank you for your patience. What a great morning we have had celebrating the best of Congress. I am Michelle Barlow Richardson, and I am proud to serve as the chair of the Board of Directors for the Congressional Management Foundation. It is my privilege to bring this program to a close. It has also been my privilege to participate. First, to our sponsors, thank you. Through your support, we have not only been able to bring the Democracy Awards to life, but we've had the opportunity to host our largest ceremony ever. To our presenters, you have my deepest gratitude for your role in showcasing the best of Congress and the excellence of each of our winners. I want to recognize the CMF staff one more time, not only for their efforts today, but for their efforts throughout the entire Democracy Awards season. And yes, it is a season. What you see is months-long commitment to reviewing the most applications in our organization's history, to interviewing the nominees, supporting our selection committee, planning 3 events of celebration, and then finally celebrating with this event. You have brought passion for supporting the congressional community, especially at a time when it feels like they need our support the most. I would like to personally recognize the CMF team by name: Katie LeClaire, Colin Driscoll, Carson Bailey, Madison Ellis, Jesse Vega, our interns and fellows, Olivia, Savannah, Ben, and Alice, and of course, Jen Dalby, our fearless leader. We thank you. We also are celebrating the best of the best. If you will indulge me for 1 minute, less than 1 minute, please take a moment to join me in wishing Jen a very happy milestone birthday this Sunday. Your team is grateful for all that you do, not only to mentor them, but all of Congress. Happy early birthday. Please give me one final round of applause for our 18 winners. The Democracy Awards season features some of our most signature series of events, but CMF's work goes much further. For nearly 5 decades, CMF has been dedicated to strengthening the First Branch. Through our pillars, there are 4 pillars: leadership, education, management, and community. If you would like to learn more about CMF's initiatives, please connect with us. There is a QR code on the screen, but also in your program. And after we conclude, I encourage you to stay, socialize as you can, take photos with your colleagues, celebrate this day, connect with our CMF staff and our board. We appreciate your joining us, and we wish you a wonderful rest of the day.